Alrighty, on the road as usual. I just live on the road. So anyways, yeah, it is my first real day of driving the Jeep Gladiator. I've already gone to town in it, but the kid kind of takes away the focus if you kind of follow my channel. Anybody has a kid, they know this story. How to hush up a kid and how to get a kid to talk, right? Yeah. So anyways, so far, and keep in mind, yesterday I drove my Ford Raptor, my Ford Bronco Raptor. A lot of people here that follow my channel, it's kind of interesting that people kind of been following me for a while. I'm just a guy that likes to get my addiction of something different and new out of my system, and then I just let it go, because it's very difficult for me to hang on to these very expensive vehicles. They're just too much money, and that's why I usually get rid of them. I mean, like the Ford Raptor, that was an $80,000 vehicle that I negotiated a deal down to $91,000. And that was with the dealer really just doing me a favor to help get that deal done. I didn't really want that. I really liked my Wild Track Bronco. I really did. I really liked the Wild Track package. And now with the new Haas package, I would probably be happier back in a Wild Track, because number one, it's going to be $30,000 in so many aspects less. And wow, this guy here is going to run me off the damn road. These back roads, these big buses, yikes. And the vehicle is easier to get in and out of, and the vehicle is more than fun. I mean, it's a blast of a vehicle, and it's just more of a budget vehicle. In fact, I would love to find my vehicle used in the market in the $50,000 range. I'd take that in a heartbeat. So, which I think that's coming. And so anyways, for anybody who just really follows me, so here's the story. When I bought that Raptor Bronco, I initially didn't want to buy the vehicle because it was just too much money. It's just too much money. This Ram TRX, it's too much money. I mean, the odds are if I get this truck, you'll see 6 months from now that I'll be getting rid of it. I'll be amazed if I'm not selling it 6 months from now. I'll get my fun time in it, and then I'll be out. It's very hard to keep these expensive cars. It's just too much money. These things are huge debts. They're huge obligations. So I know a lot of people out there like, keep the Raptor. Well, for the record, if the deal doesn't go down, I'm keeping the Raptor, even though I could sell it if I wanted to. The market's pretty healthy for it still, but I'm not so sure I go that path. But once again, I've had my fun, and back last November when I picked that vehicle up, at first I was like, I'm not doing the deal. It's too much money and blah, blah, blah. And so then I kind of came to closure that, hey, I could drive that and then I could get my fun time out of it. And if I want to get rid of it, I'm not going to get hurt. And if you're listening to my channel, I'm being offered $95K trade. Now, some people out there are saying that you can put it in the market and probably get 100 plus. Probably could, but then I got to delay everything. And right now, they're taking basically $4,000 off the Ram TRX. So, and there's another challenge. Like my Hellcat red eyes, would I let those go if I knew that the Dodge was going to continue to build them the next 2-3 years? I would. I would let them go because they're just too much money. But now there's a dilemma. They're not being built anymore after this year, and so I'm kind of stuck. Where if I let those cars go, then I'll probably never get them back for the price I paid for them. So it's very challenging to come to closure and make that decision, unless it's just stupid money offered for them. That would be hard to resist. So, but I don't see that happening right away. But back to the Ram TRX Raptor deal, if the bank would do the deal on those reasonable terms, then yeah, I would let the Raptor go, just because I want to have a TRX notch in my collection of cars. And even though I could go buy a Raptor, I could take that Raptor, but I don't want another Raptor truck. I've had so many Raptor trucks. I'm like, I'm just in the Ford Power Boost. It does so much for me. I'm just like, why do I want a Raptor truck? Just like that Ford F-150 Tremor. I love that truck, and I just really never wanted a Raptor because that just made me happy for what I had, for what I could do. But the Power Boost, to me, is the Raptor and Tremor all in one, as a more of a road vehicle than a back off-road vehicle. But just the fun factor, the power. So now we're here in the Jeep Gladiator, right? And I'm driving this, and this is a nice vehicle, but it does have the typical Jeep personality where she does do the ping pong driving down the road. What I mean by ping pong, I mean that she does the behaviors of a solid front axle vehicle that she walks. I mean, that's just the nature of these Jeeps, and I've talked about that numerous times in my Bronco videos, and how the Bronco is such a nicer package because of just one of those aspects makes the Bronco better than the Jeep on the walking. But what's interesting though for me is now that I'm in this vehicle, I thought my Bronco had a lot more room. I can't get my button to work here, which is aggravating. Oh, yeah. So I always thought that my Bronco had a lot more room. And yesterday after driving that vehicle, and the interior, was a lot bigger per se. But after driving that Bronco yesterday, I was like pushing the seat. Actually, it's electronic. This is a medium seat. I was hitting the button to go back further, and it didn't. I was like, wow. I was like, this seat, I think it's definitely a little bigger, but not radical. And then inside, the Jeep definitely is narrower than the Bronco. I mean, the Jeep is a smaller cabin, I feel, but it's just a cool thing. The Jeeps just have their own personality, and that's what I am. I just like to drive different vehicles, and I always second guessed myself of selling my first Jeep Gladiator way too soon. In hindsight, I just kind of like, why did I buy that empty Super Snake? I thought I had one of only 280 being built. I really thought I could pick that truck up for like under 100, and I could drive it a few years and probably sell it for a good $125,000. I really felt that was a vehicle that I could have fun with and eventually turn around, sell it, and not get hurt. But no, I was wrong on that one. I got killed on that vehicle. It was ridiculous because the Shelby brand misrepresented that product, and they're still building the damn things. And had I known that, I wouldn't have ordered one. I'd be like, well, you can just buy this anytime, any year. And if the rep had told me that, I'd be like, you know what? That's cool. I'll just wait for a used one to pop up one day, or I'll just get one down the road. I'm in no hurry to get one because they're going to be available year in, year out. I mean, just such misrepresentation. In fact, there's a class action lawsuit against Dodge right now on the Dodge Durango Hellcat. There's people that were told the first production year they're only going to build so many, and people paid huge monies, ADMs, on these Durango Hellcats. Come to find out, Dodge is still building the Dodge Durango Hellcats. So they've really, reneged on what they presented to so many people, think you'd be so lucky to get one. Could you imagine that if next year at this time Dodge releases the Demon 190, whatever, the Demon, all of a sudden like, oh, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and keep the model year going one more year. At the last minute, we decided we're going to go one more year, and actually we're going to release now a 1,200 horsepower Demon, blah, 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 blah. Could you even imagine the outrage of all these people that paid huge monies for these Demon, the Demon 170? Hey, I've talked about my other YouTube channel. I have a contact where I can get a Demon. So if anybody's interested in that, but I think I should just save a lot of people a lot of aggravation and getting excited. I mean, I'm being sincere right now. If anybody out there is watching my channel and you want a Demon, I can get you one, but it's $250 over. That's the condition. Okay, so anybody out there watching my channel, if you go to my Ice Age TV comments, so it's Ice Age TV comments at gmail.com, you can email me personally, and I can get you the criteria and information that you'll know about, and it could be yours. So, and where people are paying for these things right now, is $250 that crazy? Obviously not, because people left and right are paying $150, $100 grand, $150. I've heard $200. I've heard $300. So once again, anybody out there, follow my channel, and I'll probably make another YouTube, video clarifying that a little bit more, just to continue to give somebody the opportunity to have one. I mean, if it's for life thing, I guess it's worth it. I don't know. I mean, there's big money out there. And then I don't know if I can't remember. I have so much information going through my brain, all these things going on. But the gentleman that bought the first allocation Demon from a dealer I buy my cars from here locally, That person actually lives in Maryland, and actually that person's going to race it. So they're paying $100K over, but this is a track person, so they are going to race that car. So that's not a person buying it just to put in their garage and look at it. And the other person that paid $150 over, I'm not so sure on that. Now this has the start stop feature. I hate it, which I'm just gonna leave it on. It's not a big deal to me. You know, what are we getting on fuel economy? I mean, look at this. What's the guess? My daughter's been driving it. So 16. I said 16, I think. Yeah, that's just incredible too. That this car that doesn't have 37-inch tires. I think this Bronco Raptor gets like 16 miles a gallon. This Jeep that in my opinion weighs a little less. It may be the same weight. I think it doesn't feel as heavy as my Bronco does. And a 33-inch tire versus 37-inch tire. A twin turbo motor on the Raptor, a bigger motor than this motor. I don't know. No, this actually is a 3.6 liter V6. So no, that's a 3.0 in the Raptor. So that's probably it. A little bigger motor here, but it's hard to believe. But my daughter's been driving it. My daughter, she isn't like the best on the fuel economy. I've driven a lot of vehicles after she's driven them. I'm like, this thing, I get so much better mileage. I would think this thing would be more of an 18, 19 mile per gallon vehicle. That would be my thoughts, possibly. Is 16 probably the reality? Probably. But whatever. It is, it's back to the gas. And now I'm hearing in the Jeep Gladiator forum that the 4xe package, the 4-cylinder electric motor package is coming to the Gladiator. So, and it sounds like the diesel's probably going away. And then why would they do a 392 Jeep Gladiator? I mean, come on. That's the ticket. That, to me, would be extremely exciting. A 392 Gladiator. Why won't they do it? I mean, will they? At the last second, will this be a big surprise? Yeah. I mean, that would be cool, I think. So for anybody to watch my channel, anybody have any ideas on that? Why would they do a 392 Gladiator? I can ask that question. As I ride around the Gladiator, I just like the vehicle. I just like the Jeep. It's the truck. One of the gentlemen here who follows my channel a lot, he's right. He's like, if you get rid of that Raptor, you have all trucks. You have a whole fleet of trucks and like one SUV. And he's right. It would be the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, and then all the cars. I got the cars, but the SUV side, I would have no SUVs. And here's the thing: going to Florida, my father's association, despises trucks in the driveway. I'd be stuck without taking the wife's Jeep Grand Cherokee L. But you know how that's all going to play out. I mean, come on. I mean, does anybody here follow my channel? I mean, do you really think that I'm not going to be eventually? Well, I have the Mach-E, Ford Mustang Mach-E. Yeah, right. Go to Florida in that. Yeah, take 2 solid days of aggravation. No thanks, but yeah, the odds of me getting an SUV, yeah, we know that answer. So now I'm going down the road, and how's she going to do? Is she going to be playing ping pong? Does she do it to me? On the steering? But she rides really well. I mean, she really does ride really nice. And, I mean, the noise, if you listen to me in my Bronco, there's a lot of noise in that vehicle. So, this so far, I mean, for me, and then the power, I mean, sure, the power is not like over the top, but does it get it down the road? It does. I mean, for the most part, it's fine. I have so many hybrids with so much power. I mean, eventually it's like, one are you going to be happy, right? One, am I happy? I hear you. So, all right, let's kind of leave it at that for right now. Wow, Skur, really nice. I'm really loving the Jeep Gladiator Mojave package. I really am. I mean, this is really just a really comfortable and confident Jeep. Of all the Jeeps I've owned, I have owned many Wrangler. I've owned, I believe, Wrangler Rubicon, a gold Wrangler Rubicon, a silver Wrangler Rubicon, a white Wrangler Rubicon, then those were all the JK series. Then I had the brand new white JL lifted tires, big wheel package, 2018, and then I had the Gladiator Rubicon. So I've had all the Rubicon. Oh, and I had the bikini, the Tiki Blue, called the bikini, Tiki Blue Rubicon 2020. So I've had all the Rubicons. I've had a lot of them, and I had the Gladiator Rubicon 2020. So I'm very aware of the characteristics of the vehicle, and the Mojave package takes the cake in my views of you're just a typical driver that buys these vehicles that never really uses them for their purpose, and it's more of your just fun vehicle to drive around town and get around places and not really do the Mojave desert, riding or the backwood trails. So for me, I've always been intrigued by the Mojave. I remember seeing the package come out, but I wasn't in the market to buy one, but I always thought it looks like a pretty cool package. And it really is. I mean, I just can't emphasize enough. This thing really does soak up the bumps, and it handles really well in the Gladiator package, being at the rear suspension supposedly as components of the Ram 1500. It really is stable and straight the vehicle. And that's what I noticed on my 2020 Gladiator, was just how straight it drove, even with 37s on it. And with this vehicle here, though, the biggest difference I notice is the way the vehicle drives, the way it rides, more or less. It's just a very, very comfortable ride, and it's not a noisy ride. I mean, I was on the pavement in 35s in this. I don't know. The 33s are a nice, it's pretty nice, the 33s. And so I'm content with that. And I think I'm going to leave it at that for a while. Here's a guy that I witnessed on the roads, where this guy in this little itty bitty car is going to go by, that's just a young person doing 75, 80 miles an hour. And people just forget, you get into these turns at high speeds, and I see these cars go off the road all the time. And so it's a very light vehicle, and they're going to do their driving habits like it's just, it's a sunny, nice, dry, paved road day, and no worries of going off that exit ramp at high speeds and the car loses traction. But anyways, I hope this video is helping people that are in the market for the Jeep. If you're in the market for Jeep, I can't emphasize enough, if you have the budget for the Mojave package, I think that's where to go. And the good news is the Gladiator is getting the bigger discount right now from Jeep to move them off the lots. So it's a huge win if you really factor what you get out of a Gladiator over the Wrangler. I just did all this last Saturday, a week ago Saturday. I spent the day driving the different Wranglers, the different packages, the different engines, and I just about went with the Jeep Willys. I really like that Willys name, that kind of look to the vehicle, the real good old just Jeep look. And I really came close to buying that vehicle, but the interior darkness just kind of bugged me. And also, it's just like, I've had so many Jeep Wranglers, I really wanted a Jeep Wrangler. And then I really sat down and looked at the difference of what I'm getting. The Willys was going to be $55,000. And this vehicle here, with them discounting the vehicle with the factory rebates, I was at $55,000. And so I got so much more vehicle, so much more of a package. And that's what I'm saying. Right now, if you're in the market for a Jeep, the Gladiator, even though some people are like, yeah, but it's a little longer vehicle, I'm not really wanting a truck, I really want that SUV capability, then yeah, I get all that. But for the bang for the buck right now, with the incentives from Jeep, this is the better package, in my opinion. And I think it's the better ride than the Rubicon. But here's the danger. I would be willing to bet that the Mojaves start to kind of disappear because of the incentives from Jeep. And I don't think the Mojave is the more dominant built vehicle of the Rubicon. I could be wrong on that, but that would be my guess. that the Rubicon is the more standard border vehicle over the Mojave. So I would think the Mojave would be a less inventory finding capable vehicle. And what's really nice is in this silver gray color exterior gives you this steel gray color interior, which I just love how light, how bright it is. It's just so bright in here. Isn't that really nice? Versus the Wranglers, they're that dark, it's just a dark interior. So far, really nice. My fuel mileage is changing at all. Here, go back here and see if I can do that for you. Kind of a little early. Yeah, it's showing 22, 21 right now. Vehicle on the flat surface, no issue getting down the road. And when it goes up the hills, though, yeah, it definitely that. We have high wind warnings today. So the hills, you definitely feel this thing have a little more struggle, I guess you could say. It's not the most potent engine. That's what was kind of holding me back, was where, you know, I really want maybe the more potent motor. When it came to closure, I'd rather have the package of the ride. And I think the look, and these aren't just a dime a dozen. Here's another guy. There's a guy, you know, I'm doing 65. That guy's doing 85 miles an hour. And the theory is, if you think it through, the police usually aren't hanging out on rainy days. And that's what people do. They abuse the situation, because usually police aren't trying to shoot radar. They can't. So people start driving very quickly. And then, zing, ping, you're off the road. All right, stay tuned. I haven't heard from the dealer. I don't know. I think this is probably going to Monday. And I think even at that. But then what happens is, somebody maybe walks in and wants that truck that I'm looking at, and sincerely, if the person gets instant approval to buy the deal, then probably the odds are they'll be like, well, you know, we had a guy who wanted it, he could do it. Your deal is getting too complicated, so there you go. Which that'll kind of suck, but we'll see. Do the car gods prevail today? Does something, you know, unique play out that creates the deal, or the car gods are like, no, you just don't want the Ram TRX. Oh, what a rainy day. Back weekends are just rain. It's that springtime rain. April showers bring those May flowers, and it's real. I mean, wow, it's just steady. And you know, it's crazy. It didn't show it being a rainy day today. It's just be more windy. So it's befuddling to me. But here's the thing. I'm getting a lot of comments on my Ram TRX day. And one of my subscribers that likes to interact a lot, he's saying, hey, why don't you just wait for the Raptor R? And okay, well, this is factual. My Coons Baltimore Ford dealer may have one allocation left before the year is out for Raptor R. So my name is on that allocation. Does it come in this year? 50-50. They've already told me, it's like, you know, we may get it, we may not. We don't know yet. So, which is cool. But at the same time, these Raptor R's are so freaking expensive. I mean, by the time you option these things out, this is a $130,000, $140,000 truck, and they're not going to discount it. Right now, this Ram TRX I'm looking at, they're discounting it a little bit, so it's a $97,000 truck. And I've said that throughout a lot of my videos, is you're borderline a fool to buy a Raptor R over a Ram TRX because of the spread in price. So, I mean, conservative, I would say the Raptor R is $40,000 more than the TRX. And is there that radical a difference? I mean, there's no doubt. The Raptor R is it's a great vehicle. The Raptor truck's a great vehicle. So, yeah. But at the same time, that's big money. And then in the market, is the market going to sustain itself, or guys going to pay you $150 for your Raptor R? I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're not a dime a dozen just right now. Yeah, they're going to get good money, but that's big money. I mean, that starts to separate a lot of people. One thing, 90, 100 grand, 140, 150 grand. That's definitely starting to really narrow the people that can afford this stuff. And yeah, I'm not saying 90 grand is attainable to most people, but a buck, even for me, $140,000 truck. If you were just put like 20 grand down, your payment should be like $2,500 a month. Hey, ask me how I know. I mean, sincerely. Yeah, I've got a Heritage GT500 that I bought. That was $121,000. I mean, these are huge payments, man. And that's what I was saying earlier, is that to keep this stuff long term, it's very challenging to come to closure what makes sense. It's just too much money. As the morning progresses to noon and not a phone call, not a text, I mean, I just have been doing this so many times that it gets complicated. And my guess right now is I don't think we're going to get an answer today. I think this is going to Monday. And or it's just there's no news to be told, and that's why the finance guy's like, I got nothing to tell you. I've already given everybody the higher up everything, and they're not responding, and this is a Monday now phone call. So I'd be amazed today if this video plays out with me being a Ram TRX. And in all fairness, this is what's really weird. What's going on, to get really personal here, it's Ally Financial. I have had a relationship with Ally Financial, and they turned the lights off on me like 2 years ago. They just quit approving deals. And I was like, why? What's going on? I don't understand why they turned me off. Well, what I'm getting from this finance guy is Ally Financial believes I'm renting my vehicles out. That I've got a business that I'm buying all these cars and I'm just renting vehicles. But, for part of me, it's like, well, I'm not doing that. But even I was, what business is it of yours that what I'm doing? Because if I'm paying the note and the cars are insured, what difference does it make? But what cracks me up about all this is if you look at the miles on all my cars, they're so low mileage, how could you support that theory? If I'm renting out cars, they're going to be getting driven the heck out of it. If I was renting out my Bronco, you know as well as I do, that thing could have 10,000, 15,000 miles on it. If I was renting out my GT500s, I mean, the list goes on and on and on, so it's really weird. So we pretty much have exhausted Stellantis Financial, because they've done 3 deals here in the last basically 60 days. So there's no way they're going to buy another deal. I can't see it. So it's to Ally Financial, which I had 3 loans with them. Now I'm down to 1 loan. I paid off 2 other loans, but they're not wanting to, they're not saying no, but they're going to the way higher up guy to figure out, if they let me have the truck or not. So just sharing every little bit I can with you to kind of get a feel for what's going on. And the irony is, I'll be financing less money than when I financed the Bronco. That's the irony to all this, is I'm actually going to be putting a good amount of money down with equity in my Bronco that will be lower debt. You try to make sense. But the banks, you have to wonder, man, the banks, the word in the industry is the banks are getting slaughtered on people not paying their car payments. I don't know. You don't know what to believe anymore. What do you believe anymore? Sincerely. It's a YouTuber guy that's making all these videos that's claiming that the car payments are delinquent at the 2008-9 times. Dealerships are going broke. This is all you see on YouTube. All the Dire Straits, YouTubers that have huge followers that watch this stuff and get the clickbait. All right, well, I'll keep you informed as the day progresses. Got to get gas. Gladiator, love the Gladiator. Really do like the Gladiator. What I like about it? It's just simple. I didn't really think, I've talked about this so many times. Hey, there's a that's probably like a Sahara package. But I've talked so many times about where we are in today's technology. I think there's so many people right now just want a car that doesn't have much technology. They just want to be able to have a key with a key tumbler where you turn it in the ignition and turns it on. No remote start, no proximity. Here's the thing, my wife is calling me this morning in the Jeep Grand Cherokee L is acting up where it's not recognizing the key fob. The windows won't go up and down correctly. The car's not wanting to start. And my first inclination is, well, it's the key. The key fob battery's going bad. And somebody would be like, yeah, but it's a brand new car. It is. But it's not. I mean, the car is new, but it's not like it's a month old. But I think it's the key fob's battery is going bad. The only reason I know this is because my Indian motorcycles had the same type of thing happening down in Tennessee. They weren't running right, and it came down to the key fob. And what I've heard also is when you have your key fob and your car's locked and it's within proximity of the vehicle all day long, it's wearing down that key fob. The key fob's constantly sending signal back and forth from the car to the key fob, and it's trying to figure out what's going on. And that's why a lot of cars get hacked, is because of that signal, if you know that language, and key fobs, especially the Dodge products. They're known, or the Challengers and Chargers, for the worst, where people can read your codes if they got the right device sitting out in a parking lot as you walk across the parking lot getting your car. So I think that's going on, where the vehicle's parked in front of my house and where my wife keeps the key to it, and she locks the vehicle all the time, it's always talking to it. I think when the car's unlocked and the key's in the car in your garage, I don't think the key fob's looking for anything. So that's my gut instinct on that there. So the adventure Saturday continue. Now this vehicle here, it really does just get down the road, no problem. Just rock and rolls. So as far as the power goes, for the most part, it's good. It's not the fastest, but at the same time, it's not noisy. And that's one thing I've been thinking is, do I really want to pipe on this? I don't know. I'm getting to be an old man. I'm just not really, I mean, I'm just enjoying how it's not noisy. So, tires sound good. And I'm just very happy, very content. My Jeep Gladiator. Love my Jeep Gladiator. I'm the Jeep guy again. Coming full circle. There's a Rivian SUV. Isn't that something? Even for me, I just can't get over on how those things are already in the market. I didn't realize those things were that available yet. Good looking vehicle. That thing's potent too. I can tell you that much. How is Rivian doing? I mean, Rivian's being challenged. Anybody's watching the news here, the government has tax credit guidelines, and it's upsetting a lot of these manufacturers because you're not going to get this $7,500 tax credit on your car because of the credentials that the car has to have of being domestically made with battery components. And if it doesn't, you're going to get like half the tax credit. So it's just confusion behind confusion. I think it's going to be easier. Just don't give a tax credit. Forget it. You know, that's the bait and switch ball game. You know, that's what lures people to buy these EV vehicles. It's all because they think they're not going to buy any more gas and save a ton of money. And the tax credit, so that spurs them to buy the vehicle when, if you didn't have the gasoline so-called incentive and the tax credit incentive, I don't think people would buy an electric vehicle. They're not going to buy it. Hey, speaking of gasoline, and contribute to the public road infrastructure and the state taxes and the federal taxes. How about that idea? Hey, looky here. It is the John Deere dealer where I buy my tractors and parts. Got to get parts for my lawnmowers, but look here. Boy, if you go back like a year ago, 6 months ago, this was like empty. So the times are a-changing. So, you know, the production is catching up, but where's all the buyers, right? That's a pretty heavy inventory. I haven't seen that heavy in years. All right, let me get in here and get my oil change kit for my zero-turn mowers. That's a project. And the winds, look how beautiful it is now. The day is totally changed into just a really beautiful day. But we're supposed to have big winds coming in, so that'll ruin it. All right, let's see if I can get in and get out of here without buying something, right? All right, got my John Deere parts, which that wasn't cheap. $200 bill, but you know, it's all about. You have to buy things to maintain things, your property and all. And oh my goodness gracious, beautiful, something beautiful. I forgot my bed rug is coming in, so I get back in. My bed rug is going to be probably back at my residence, and I can do a bed rug install today. I'm pretty excited about that. And got a few more things, and the phone hasn't rang. So for the record, the TRX thing, can't see that happening today. I think the TRX thing, the Ram TRX thing is probably a no. So stay tuned.